it's like somebody spinning you around. You know, when you, like, as a kid, you used to like spin around, spin around, spin around, and then you stop. And you think that you can see like the wall or the door and stuff, and you try and grab it, but you're so off it. That's how I felt. Like, I felt like I couldn't grasp on anything.
So how did your roommate recognize that you were going through a mental health challenge? And how did he know what to do and how to take care of you and how to be there for you?
We didn't have any New Year's plans, so my housemate knew that I was at home, but he hadn't seen me for like 2 days. So then he basically knocked on the door, which is very strange because usually he just barges in, and he knocked on the door and he said, "Can I come in?" And I said, I was like all curled up in my bed, and I was just like, "Yeah, sure, whatever," you know, like I was just like not myself, and that was like the first inkling that something was wrong. Now after the fact and after speaking to him about the whole thing, he just really just like crawled into bed and was like, like, "It's okay, I'm here." He gave me a huge hug, and I remember feeling so numb that I didn't even physically feel him. But he said, "I'm here for you." And I remember him reassuring me that this emotion is normal and that in time things will get better. And he actually like suggested that I go and see someone about this, and he said, like, you don't need to decide now, but I can make the appointment for you, and if you feel like going, I can go with you. But if you don't feel like you want to go, it's okay, but we'll just make the appointment and then we can see. My housemate would leave his door open and open my door. Every time we shut it, he'll go back and open it, just so that I know that he's there. And I'm very grateful for those times. And he would still send me like really funny jokes and memes and things for me to watch every few hours for that one whole week where I didn't want to get out of bed. And then finally, like, he actually took me.
Would you mind sharing how your experience was with therapy?
Therapy, I guess, is kind of like, it's a conversation with a neutral party that gives you clarity, but the clarity still comes from you. And what they do is they help map you out and make sense of the whole thing. That's what I got from her. And for the first session, I guess the first few sessions, it was just her trying to understand why I was there. I would say only in the 3rd, 4th month, I was starting to see a little bit more progress on myself. So we focused more on what I could do within my locus of control to control little things and aspects in my life to bring back my confidence in the decisions I was making every day. And I thought that was a very powerful tool that she taught me, because I now understand why you have to do that, because you can't control what others do to you, but what you can control is how you react towards it, how you portray your actions or your mannerisms and things like that. And I also chose to step away from a lot of the negativity that was surrounding me, which was very difficult for me. As I mentioned before, I'm a people pleaser. I've always been the one that people rely on, and this whole experience with the therapist really taught me that it's okay to say no, and it's okay to prioritize yourself. And if people are around you that love you, if they can't understand that you are trying to develop and grow and change, and you need space and time, and if you say no to them and they don't understand, they make a big deal out of it, then maybe they're not meant to grow along with you.
For those who might be going through a difficult period in their life as well, would you mind sharing a little bit about how those dark days were like for you? And how did you come out of that?
So I think that everybody needs someone to talk to. Okay, let's just put it out there. Like, and not someone who is a friend, not someone who is a family member. yes, those are important, but when you're talking about your mental well-being, you need someone who has a neutral understanding and also the tools to help you develop and grow. And I think that it's something that's truly, truly special for me, particularly. And I would say the three biggest things that I took away from this whole experience was the first one being it's okay for a happy person to feel sad and down and angry and upset but it's just the way you deal with it. So that was the first one, because I always felt so bad for feeling sad all the time, especially during that period. The second one I would say is teaching me to kind of say no. That was a very difficult thing for me growing up, to say no to people and to feeling like I feel like I have disappointed people. And then I would say the third and biggest takeaway from all of this, and this came right at the end, it was kind of like the pinnacle of my therapy session, was my therapist shared with me the analogy of a tree and how friendships all start at the root of a tree. And it comes to a point in your relationship, especially in friendships, where the bark then starts going into branches, and some branches grow together and some branches kind of verved off into different directions, and some branches even break and fall. It's really important to note that branches that veer off doesn't mean that you're not still part of the same tree. We all started at roots, and it's okay for friendships to veer off to different paths. And I think that's such a beautiful analogy to really understand that friendship breakups is just like a tree. And that's a beautiful analogy, and I'm so grateful for that analogy because it just makes sense. Hi guys, it's me, Ili Sulaiman, here in Kuala Lumpur. I am a celebrity cook on Asian Food Network, and I'm also a foodpreneur here based in Kuala Lumpur. And I'm super excited to be here because we are talking about mental health.